This is Will Davis. We've been getting a lot of requests at the Antique Typewriter Collectors Forum on Facebook. Who can tell me about my typewriter? I just want to go through some books that a lot of us collectors have that I think a lot of the new people should be looking for. And there's an order I'm going to go through in these, and at the end, we'll tell you which ones are best for what you're doing with the typewriters, whether you're collecting them, whether you're actually using them. So this book right here, generally referred to as Mares by us. You might find the original edition, which was titled History of the Typewriter, being illustrated account of the origin, rise, and development of the writing machine. Pittman, 1909, George Carl Mares. This is 1985 Dan Post reprint of it. This book was written right after the Visibles came out from Remington. Actually, I should say from Remington, Smith, Premier, Yost. But it has a whole bunch of old machines and rare machines in here. If you're collecting antique typewriters and you're truly a collector, this is a book for you. This book might be hard to find. The last copies Post had ended up with Ernie Jorgensen at Office Machines Americana. This was the last copy he had. So everything you're going to have to find now will be secondhand. But this is an important book to have. Another historical compendium. You can see my feet there. This was written in 1923 by Typewriter Topics. That was a trade paper, and by trade paper, of course, we mean something written by people in the industry for the industry. 1923, that publication put out a history of the typewriter. There's two ways you'll find that reproduced today. This is 1980s Dan Post reprint. In this reprint, Dan Post chose to include typewriter ads, which are very interesting. They're all timely. They have prices. He'll put the date on there. Hardback, convenient format. This Dover reprint was done a few years later. This does not have the ads, but it has a 1924 edition or addendum that Typewriter Topics made for their publication. So either way you get it, both very valuable. Again, done in 1923. So if you're collecting real modern typewriters, this won't be too interesting for you. But if you're collecting antiques or using antiques, you've got to have one of these. All right. Looking at things with industry information now. Of course, that's a trade paper inside. I'm not sure what Mayor's Association Industry was, although we clearly had some. Here's a little pamphlet. I just brought this out for interest. You might find this occasionally in the Smith Corona electronic typewriter. Keep it. It's legit. The information that's in here is good. This is the book that probably everybody should have. Beeching. Everybody calls this Beeching. Wilfred Beeching's book, Century of the Typewriter. Two versions of this, one in the 70s. This is the 1990 reprint. This book contains typewriters all the way up through the 1960s and 70s. In the back is a complete catalog of the Milwaukee Public Museum's collection. The information on modern brands, stuff made in Japan, all the transitions made through Europe. There's electronic and electric typewriters in here. Pretty much everybody should have a copy of this book. Here's a book that was ghost written by Don Sutherland for Matsushita Electric Panasonic in 85. This is a good general history book. If you can't find the Typewriter Topics Compendiums or Mares, get this. If you can find this. This is a general history of typewriters. Don Sutherland knew what he was doing, and there's a lot of good photos in here, good information. Like I said, if you can't find those, get this. If you already have those and you have everything else, then look for this. This book here, originally privately circulated, according to Beeching anyway. Bruce Blivens' wonderful writing machine, written under the auspices of Royal, so pretty much everything in here is pro-Royal. This is worth having just for its look inside the factory, which is at the end of the book. This book here is probably one of the best I've ever read on typewriters, Demise of the Typewriter. This is published in Australia. It's extremely hard to find. I've never seen a copy here in the States. This book is a look at the early typewriter business all over Australia when guys were out servicing and selling typewriters from the back of trucks and opening the first shops. I've never seen anything that gives as gritty of a view of the inside of the business as this does, and good number of illustrations inside. This book, just can't say enough about this book. Okay, just as an aside, there are also other books like this one. It all ends up from Victor Comptometer on other business machines. Like this one, you'd have adding machines and cash registers. If you're into those other things as an adjunct, don't be afraid to look around for books in other genres. Looking quickly at collector books, Antique Typewriters by Darryl Rare, and this Antique Typewriters from Creed to QWERTY, Michael Adler. These are both price guides. They'll both have prices in them. They're both valuable to have if you're collecting and using more modern typewriters, or if you're more of a casual collector. Definitely get one of these two books. These can be found fairly readily even today. Good photos, beautiful photos in Rare's book. Many in color. Very nice book. Finally, two modern books by friends of mine. Richard Polk's book, The Typewriter Revolution. This book is everything about the modern typewriter experience. Typewriter collecting, using, disconnecting from digital media. Just a fantastic book. Can't say enough about it. Very modern. This book is for people that are buying and using typewriters now. This beautifully done book by Paul Robert and Peter Wheel. A photographic extravaganza of antique typewriters. If you're interested in the older machines and you're truly a collector, you've got to have this book as well. So, looking at the machines for antique collectors, real old machines, obviously this one for the new books, one or the other of these compendiums for the old books. People that are actually using typewriters, now interested in more modern things, definitely Century of the Typewriter by Beeching, and probably one of these books either by a Rare or Adler or both. So there's a run through the books that are available. I encourage you to try to find some of these things. You'll have a much better time out looking around on foot when you have one or two of these things in the car with you.